Are you very comfortable with the camera right now?
Yeah, I mean, even I'm not knowing that there are cameras now. So cameras are very fine now. When I joined IIT Kanpur, that's where I got introduced to aerospace, aeromodelling, aviation, drones. So me personally coming into the drone, I will give all the credits to IIT Kanpur. In 2012 winter, I built my first ever aircraft. Whatever the aerospace MTech PhD people were doing, I was doing with them in the first year winter.
How did you kept your engineer alive in campus and you took this path of hard engineering?
So money, I think, is never a driver when somebody wants to build something. And whenever there is a money involved, I don't think so people can build crazy breakthrough things. I mean, I have so many stories. Every morning, I used to go to Airstrip to fly aircraft and to see sunrise. Every evening to see sunset and fly aircrafts. So we were building payload drones. We were building solar-powered gliders. We were building even the powerless gliders. So we used to pick a bird or an eagle, and then we used to follow them to keep the aircraft maximum. So that was the close connection with the nature, birds, flying these aircrafts, building them so efficient that you don't need even power to keep them in the air. So this is how the crazy work was going on. We used to pick all old engines, assemble their parts, then tuning is a process, and we used to do that all day long. And then we used to celebrate if we have flown that engine with the aircraft in CCD. That batch that I was just talking about, all those people today are leading drone companies in India.
When you started working, what was the first PMF जो आपने सोचा कि हम ये बनाएंगे या exactly उस पे land कैसे किए?
PMF तो बहुत दूर की बात है. PMF तो पता भी नहीं होता था PMF क्या होता है, एंटरप्रेन्योर क्या होता है, स्टार्टअप क्या होता है. ये सारे बज़वर्ड 2017-18 के बाद चालू हुए हैं. I was not passionate about, I was not thinking to build a business. I was not thinking to build drones which could do XYZ service, or it could deliver certain kind of the solution as a product or as a technology.
You were just a curious child, an engineer was just doing things.
Yeah, you could put it that way. I think maybe the right way to put it. I was just in love with these things. There are 10,000 other battles: technology, product, unit economics, PMF, investors, regulations, government, policy. But this mindset, India का जो youth है, वो crazy है. तुम्हें नहीं फर्क पड़ता कि कौन मुझे रोक रहा है, तुम्हें करके रहना है. So the support comes when you are seeking it. It is not available. You will face maybe 10 doors before you get to that support. And when time is important. Today, everything is jam-packed, from roads to the infra to the public places and everything, right? So how do we really plan and solve for those kind of the masses, right? Ultimately, all of these things can only be changed by the entrepreneurs. And at least this government का जो energy है, वो कम से कम छुपने का नहीं है. What I like about it कि भाई ठीक है, जो भी है फेस पे है, and फेल हो रहे हैं तो भी ठीक है, करते हैं, करने से होगा.
I think world is changing so fast. कि there is no option. We have to work on it. This is inevitable.
Inevitable.
Machines, be it AI, be it drones. They're inevitable. They are going to change the world.
Yes. And build it, not use it. The vision that we started with was very simple, humane, and natural, basically. We didn't think too much about it. We have continued living that same vision of delivering all essentials, be it medicine, be it critical, be it commerce, be it anything, or be it even in the information. It has to be delivered within the 1 hour of the need arises. In healthcare or in critical care, it is called golden hour. So we started with the complete manual, and today it is autonomy level 4.3 and above. जितने भी ड्रोन हैं इंडिया में, वो सब 20,000 से 50,000 किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा नहीं चलते. That is what was the challenge we took on. Our aircraft, we started with 2,000 landing cycle. 50 kilometer was the range. 50 kilometer into 2,000 landing cycles. 1 lakh. That is where we started. Today, this product has 6,000 landing cycles and 100 kilometers range, 6 lakh kilometer, without overhauling.
everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Rocket Media. Today I am in Gurugram with Vikram. He is co-founder and CEO of Techeagle. They are building full-stack autonomous drones for public safety, logistics and defense. Swagat hai, Vikram. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Dhanyawad to have me here with you. The pleasure is mine. Thanks for coming.
Great. So to begin with the conversation, I was looking at your journey. So how did everything fall into place? Like what pulled you into drones particularly?
I think the drones, it happened basically. So it happened in a way that probably, if I recall, maybe you also like flying kites.
Right.
Right? So maybe that's where I go back to. And I used to see planes flying over our village and all of that, right? So that might be the point. But when I joined IIT Kanpur, that's where I got introduced to aerospace, aeromodelling, aviation, drones, or drones were later on nomenclatured as a drone. It was at that time not so much drone. It was like remotely piloted aircraft systems, or it could be like just a aircraft, remotely piloted aircraft. So in 2000, maybe 15, that's when it clicked. So between 2012 and 15, obviously then we participated in all of the competitions, and that basic thing told us that maybe this is what we want to do throughout the life as a passion or as a hobby. We love designing the aircrafts, we love building them, we love flying them, and we love even maybe crashing them as well, right? Because at the end of the day, that gives you the thrill that you have pushed the limits. And once you push the limit, inevitably it will crash. So this entire cycle, right? And then repeat this thing. So this is what used to be the thing that, okay, now we are already loving it, we are doing it. Then one day, something else clicked, and that's when Techeagle started. So me personally coming into the drone, I will give all the credits to IIT Kanpur. Yeah.
तो IIT कानपुर से ही इसके सीड्स आए हैं. Like वहाँ पे you were in aeromodeling club?
Yeah, I mean, it was the peak when we were building the Aeromodelling club. So I don't know nowadays how is it. I went recently, but nowadays after COVID, practical work has been reduced to almost maybe nil. It is just a repetitive thing nowadays. Maybe this is my assumption. Maybe in a year it might have changed, and we wish that it should change at least better than where it was earlier.
Right.
So yeah.
But you're in private space now where things move very fast. So maybe that could be one of the reasons.
In IIT Kanpur in 2012, I entered. In 2012 winter, I built my first ever aircraft. Me and one of my another friend, Dhiru, and we flown it in winter. It crashed. Then again we rebuilt, and from 2013 January, and then imagine in 2014 first quarter we were in the US competing with global teams for design, aero design, as well as we were competing with the Outback Challenge Australia. And so this entire thing happened within, let's say, 1 year. Now, what happened within this 1 year? In 2012, first summer break, you do all these, whatever the participants in your club. And then from that moment, in IIT Bombay, there was this tech fest or something. Earlier there was a record of lifting heavy payload and then doing a 8 circle and then landing it in the concentric circles and all of that. And we won that. We won aerobatics one as well. So we won a lot of prize money. And then we refueled it 80% into the club, 20% for your logistics and people, students. And just after that, we won 3 competitions in Tekriti. Then it was like a line of things, right? So in 1 year, we collected maybe 4 or 5 lakh rupees of the prize money for club.
So
yeah,
you did everything while you were a student at IIT Kanpur. You went to US.
Yeah, in 2014.
Wow.
I think maybe, yeah. early first quarter of 2014.
I think
even I was minor at that time. I could not even I could not make my passport without my parents coming to the IIT Kanpur and signing off as a minor going out. So all of that happened, and yeah.
so fascination towards drone was always there. Then you started building drones at IIT Kanpur.
Fascination towards drone was not there. Fascination
Toward
towards
flying
maybe the
things.
aerial objects,
Yeah,
flying
right,
kites,
right.
maybe watching aircrafts and birds. That might have been the fascination. But then we got introduced, and everybody loves flying everything, right? I mean, if you want to fly helicopter, a rotor, kind of the drone, fixed wing, and I loved the fixed wing part. First aircraft imagine which I built was a flying wing. Have you seen B2 bomber?
Uh-huh.
In photos,
Right, right,
B2
right.
bomber, right? Stealth aircraft of US. So that is the kind of the delta or a flying wing kind of the concept, which does not have your tail for vertical balance as well as your horizontal
right,
balance,
right.
right? In layman. So it has to had like a lot of you can say parameters were not known. I was also chemical engineer, right? As a student, I never liked chemical engineering though, but I even didn't like the aerospace engineering also very much
Okay.
because it was not teaching you the practical things. Whatever the aerospace MTech PhD people were doing, I was doing with them in the first year winter. So one of the professor, I remember I go back to 2012 December, Professor Subramaniam Shadrela is also nowadays, I think, assistant professor in IIT Kanpur. He was doing PhD at that time. And then he went for postdoc also. So we together were building on the, he was championing under Techeagle Was Started Delta aircrafts and all of that. So right away from the very first winter break, we started this particular thing.
Wow. So like every one of us used to love machines in our childhood.
Yeah.
Like, just opening parts or play with the batteries or car motors. But like, when we go to campus, somehow we'll ended up being programmers, consultants, or that is the nature of, I think, like most of the people come from lower income background. So that is a like, a way to like, create wealth in a short term. But talking about you, like how did you kept your engineer alive in campus and like, you took this path of hard engineering?
So, I mean, money, okay. So money might not have driven you also in your
Right.
path, right? So money, I think, is never a driver when somebody wants to build something. And whenever there is a money involved, I don't think so people can build crazy breakthrough things. They have to be in love with it. Then only something very genuine can come out of you as a idea, as a product, as a machine, as a concept. So I think that was the love.
So you had that clarity कि ड्रोन ही बनाना है, इसी में आगे
No,
करियर
no.
परस्यू करना है. Like in college you got that clarity, ना?
Till 2015, I was not knowing whether I will do drones or anything.
Okay.
The journey started.
So
okay,
that must be your third year, I think.
third year.
Okay.
Third year summer. Internship timing, all of that. So maybe I'll come to that later. But first, if you go back to my summer project. So what happened in summer project? We built the first ever, India's first ever quadcopter completely built on the Arduino with a lot of sensors and on top of it. And we could balance it. I think it might be on IIT Kanpur website also nowadays. That particular project needed to be presented in, I think, what is the L7, the biggest hall at the time, the older one.
Now it's L20.
L20. L7 was the earlier one,
Right.
right? So L7 was full. We were presenting. I had to walk from the stairs behind the podium. One more, my colleague Karthik Karoda was batchmate and part of the project. So obviously he's from English background and he used to represent his school and all of that. I have never represented anything on a stage with that kind of the large audience. I could not literally speak anything. And that was the moment when probably it hit me that, I mean, man, I can't do this. It should not be that way, right? So maybe I took that as a challenge. Not knowingly, but unknowingly, subconsciously. And then I thought I'll start giving more, maybe presentations. I'll start maybe teaching to the other students, and that's how the journey of doing anything started beyond doing R&D, aeromodeling, research, flying, winning competition. That was our normal. Then new normal came for me that I need to present the work which we are doing. If I cannot present the work that we are doing, then it's a shameful thing, right?
Are you very comfortable with the camera right now?
Yeah, I mean, even I'm not knowing that there are cameras now. So cameras are very fine now.
Okay.
And even the audience, I have maybe spoken to the biggest audiences of thousands of people in summits, basically.
Nice.
So now
Okay,
it's
so
not a
going
problem.
back to that part.
Yeah.
So continuing to the story. So you took that as a challenge and you started working on that. So
Yeah.
please continue.
So again, then in 2014 and 15, we started then inviting a lot of different institutes. Then IIT Kanpur, Aeromodelling Club, and Boeing collaborated to conduct some of the exclusive events for Boeing
Right.
under Techeagle umbrella. And that's what then we started. And then from there, we got to understand that the gap in aeromodeling, in aviation, aerospace is huge. I mean, there were only 2, 3 institutes, and there were no practical things. People used to import balsa wood aeromodeling aircrafts, IC engine ones, the tethered ones basically. So you switch on the engine, there is a thrust. You maybe, let's say, tie it with a wire. You will hold the wire, and that aircraft will just circle like this. So that was the aeromodeling to start with. Then later on, we basically shifted that this particular knowledge we could get in IIT Kanpur because of the seniors, because of the people who were earlier in aeromodeling club, robotics club,
Right.
electronics club before us. So then we thought, why can't other IITs, including the first 7, cannot have this, right? So why they should not also have the similar infrastructure, similar laboratory? So
Our campus infrastructure in aeromodeling was the best at that point of time.
yes, it was the best, and it is the best. It is not now utilized as a best. So utilization is not the best right now, most probably, but it is the best infra. We have airstrip of a kilometer long,
Right. The only IIT to have airstrips.
Only IIT, and we can flex about it, and we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I have so many stories. Every morning, I used to go to Airstrip to fly aircraft and to see sunrise. Every evening, to see sunset and fly aircrafts. So, and then the SAE Baha people, the Noka RC, and those founders and all, used to build the Baha one. So, we'll do the race. With the on ground, there is this the
Formula One car.
And in air, it will be IC engine aircraft. We are doing sorties, and they are also on ground. Then there will be the professor coming, then what you guys are doing? On one Makar Sankranti, we were flying kites on Airstrip.
Okay, kites, real kites.
Real kites. So, I mean, it was crazy experience, and infra is crazy. Aerospace is having then 4I lab. Then other laboratories are also there in IIT Kanpur. So, this entire ecosystem was there. Then we started with IIT Bombay. Then we started with the IIT Delhi. So PM Rao sir, if you know, in IIT Delhi is one of the champion behind all these startups, including drone startups. So during the Boeing finale, again we won IIT Kanpur 1. Then the finale was in IIT Delhi. So IIT Delhi also I think stood maybe 2nd or 3rd. We were 2 teams representing there. Then we met PM Rao sir, and that's where then why can't IIT Delhi also have a aeromodeling club? He was dean in IIT Delhi, and he was very supportive. He is still very supportive. So he basically championed this startup ecosystem in IIT Delhi and aeromodeling also. And then similarly, we did in IIT Kharagpur, Patna, Jammu, whatnot. I mean, so many. And that was the thrill that we were traveling, we were enjoying. Like you were also traveling last 1.5 year, right?
In my final 2 semester, I traveled a lot. Like on weekends, I used to travel, and then on weekdays, I used to attend classes.
So maybe after that, in 2014, 15, then even we went to South. I'll tell you one story. There was this Shayadri college in Mangaluru. And there, this was the competition. You have to carry maximum payload, build your own fixed wing aircraft, and then drop that particular payload in a concentric circle of 1 meter, 2 meter, and 3 meter.
Okay.
And whoever will lift higher payload to the total weight of the aircraft ratio, as a payload fraction is called.
Right.
So payload fraction has to be the highest, and you have to drop at the center part. So again, obviously, then we dropped at the center and we did everything. So it was crazy experience. And then they published in the media. So since that particular time, I think I remember, we started getting into the media as well. Automatically, the Hindustan Times and Times of India and all these people used to cover us. So that's where maybe then we started getting noticed as a very, very early.
So, like, since you mentioned a lot of things, not talking particularly, you like, many times you mentioned that, like, payload and logistics drone. So, like, from college you started getting the clarity, okay, we will make a logistics drones in future, or you started taking it right after your college?
Within the college itself, that's this definitely. So, I mean, logistics is I think, okay, maybe जैसे हिंदी में अगर आप समझते हो कि so like we have three nadis in our body, right? Susumna, Ida, Pingala, like that, and all these three work in a sync. So similarly, the passion for flying objects, building them, the impact part, which will come later, maybe that is a altogether new aspect of my life, and then maybe we will build ever the logistics drones was never ever thought of until 2015. So we were building payload drones, we were building your solar powered gliders, we were building even the powerless gliders. Okay, so let me tell you, in 2014, Tekriti and Technique or something like the inter-hostel competition, we kept a competition that you have 60 seconds to keep your motor on, right? Aircraft weight has to be less than 1 kg total. The motor thrust and the power rating was also limited for everybody, that nobody could go beyond this what is the rating of the motor.
Right.
Then you have to kill the power. So there was a function that we enabled in the controller. You could kill the motor. Now you kill the motor, then keep the maximum time that aircraft in the air. That speaks the volume about aerodynamics to the flight dynamics, as well as your building aircraft skills from the raw materials that you get in Kanpur, like styrofoams and different kind of foams and balsa wood and all of that. One of our seniors, Piyush Negi, he used to keep it for maybe 5 minutes plus. We kept it for 4 minutes plus. And then this, how eagles fly, how they soar, you know.
Consistently जो fly करती eagles.
हाँ, कैसे करते हैं? I mean, what is the concept and phenomena?
Physics behind it, no.
Phenomena.
अच्छा.
Okay, let me tell you that. Eagles या birds बिना wing flap करे कैसे काफी देर तक हवा में रहते हैं, कि उनको पावर कहाँ से मिलेगी आगे बढ़ने की? कि
no idea.
अच्छा, तो देखो क्या होता है, गर्मी में जमीन गर्म होती है, सनलाइट्स हैं, तो हॉट एयर बनती है नीचे, और वो ट्रेवल, हॉट एयर इज लाइट एयर, राइट? हॉट एयर जो होती है वो लाइट होती है ठंडी हवा से, राइट? पार्टिकल्स दूर दूर हो जाते हैं, बेसिक साइंस. तो गर्म हवा नीचे से ऊपर जा रही है, ठंडी नीचे से आ रही है, तो दिस एंटायर इफेक्ट इज अ थर्मल. सो this particular effect will give the soaring to the wings of an eagle. Can maybe in million ways modify their wings. So then they attain a position and then they circle around that particular hot tube of the air, you can call it like a tube, which there is a hot air blowing up, and then they'll use that, and then in loiter, this is what is the loiter. So when you go loiter and loiter, and with this particular thermal force, they will go up and up and up. So this is how we then followed eagles. So we used to pick a bird or an eagle, and then we used to follow them to keep the aircraft maximum. So that was the close connection with the nature, birds, flying these aircrafts, building them so efficient that you don't need even power to keep them in the air. So this is how the crazy work was going on. So I was first year, first semester. At the same time, we were working with a PhD guy, in the same team.
Right.
We were working with the MTech guy who was in the last semester, or even was completing. Again, fourth year guy, third year guy, second year guys were not there. So first year and then 3, 4, 5, and second year people were also there. So Tanmay and other people were also there, and who used to guide us during that workshop, the summer workshop that we have in clubs. So this was that kind of the team which won the laurels for IIT Kanpur. Even today, if you go Aeromodelling IIT Kanpur website, you will find the photo of that group only. If we were building 10 different projects at that time in club, all 10 were different. One of the team which I mentored in the second year was making the aircraft on the Magnus effect. Magnus effect, you know?
No.
No?
So
Okay,
sorry.
No problem. Maybe.
But please teach me. I'm ready to learn.
There is nothing to teach. Like the football, volleyball, right? When they throw, it has a trajectory.
Right.
That is because it is spinning, and because of the spin, there is a lift, which help it basically have that trajectory.
Okay.
कि football के kick से goal कैसे मार रहा है, right? So that is the science which then we utilized and made a wing. The wing that you see over here, it's a fixed wing.
Okay.
We made a rotatory wing.
Okay, so
The wing will rotate like a cylinder, and the flaps will have its own aerodynamics, which will then generate the lift. We failed maybe, I don't know, 30 times, 50 times. We kept at it. Our project got extended. We were fine.
So this is your original technology, like we built it.
It is not my technology. It is what is the kind of the technology we were working in Aeromodelling club.
Okay.
No research laboratory could have produced so many different kind of the prototypes, from ice engine of 50cc to gliders, to electric aircrafts, to the fully controlled the quadcopters, helicopters. We were building fighter aircrafts, a scaled down model, and flying them at huge speed. So if you were to witness crazy times in IIT Kanpur at Airstrip, that time we used to do the low passes of the fighter jets. Fighter jet of maybe 1 meter size, 2 meter size, 3 meter size. So we were building like crazy all day, all night, all nighters. We used to pick all old engines, assemble their parts. Then tuning is a process, and we used to do that all day long. And then we used to celebrate if we have flown that engine with the aircraft in CCD near our library.
Right.
So it was like a cycle. So this is what was going on in second semester till seventh or sixth semester, before the summer of the third year. And yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, like you had a totally different life. I had a totally different life.
In the same campus.
Institute, right?
Which was your hostel, by the way?
I was hall 2.
Same. Which wing?
Which wing? Like we used to live in G-bot, then B-mid, and
I was B-top.
okay, B-top. Right.
B-top,
B-mid. I lived in B-mid and G-bot.
So B-top, and then I think maybe I don't know. Behind there was a F or what? So B-top 312 or 322. I don't know. So yeah. And we used to fly from our hostel quad, the aircraft. We used to fly the aircraft from our hostel rooftop.
I have never seen that. Like, maybe
at that time,
changed.
again, what we would do. So, have you seen OIT rooftop of the Aeromodelling club outside? From that particular place, we used to fly all our aircraft and land there itself. In that, maybe it was like 5 meter by 5 meter area, not more than that. 3-floor building. We used to fly from there and land there. We didn't go airstrip in second year and third year. So, for example, after 7:30 p.m., mess will open, right? Around 7:30 or 8 p.m. We'll have our dinner. We'll go to the club. All-nighters will make one aircraft, new concept, in morning by 4 or 5 a.m. Sometimes 7, 8 a.m. Right away from there, we'll go to the airstrip. We'll test it, fly it crazy. Sometimes might crash also. Sometimes we'll do stunts and we'll come back. Then we'll have breakfast in mess again in morning 9 or 10 a.m. And then we'll sleep. So that was the routine we were following and building crazy shit, I think. And that batch that I was just talking about, all those people today are leading drone companies in India.
Every one of them?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, like, ki your life used to revolve around these drones and UAVs,
Yes.
like, in campus. So, like, right after college, you started Tech Eagle. Like, in campus, you started working on projects, but when it got registered as a company, so it happened
That is.
inside or outside?
So name got conceived on 28th July 2015. That's when we registered our domain. That's when we registered our Techeagle name.
While you were still a student at IIT Kanpur.
Yes,
Okay.
third year.
That was not allowed, I think, at that point of time.
We didn't register the company.
Oh, okay.
There was nothing that was not allowed. So we just registered the domain, brand name, and we started doing everything that we could, and then bootstrapped.
Yeah. So you bootstrapped, like, ki at that point of time, the ecosystem, like, ki today is still better, but at that point of time, I don't think so there was an ecosystem.
There was no ecosystem. Still like it's a very different ecosystem today, but there was not people in our MT, in our Nankari, towards the professors also, used to ask, ये उड़ेगा तो मैं बैठ सकता हूँ, इसको मेरे को लटका के मेरे बच्चे को लटका के लेके चले जाओ, अगर मैं इसमें वो ऐसे पत्थर बांध के वो जो डालते हैं अगर वो डाल दूंगा तो नीचे आ जाएगा. इस तरीके के जो the questions were floating around, and 2012 is the same year when DJI also got started.
Okay.
So there was nothing before 2012 in drones as such. It was just aeromodeling stuff and then research. And in 2015, it is again a crazy story that how we started thinking about the Tech Eagle, but that's when we started basically working hardcore full time.
So, like, Vikram, like, ki उस time पे I don't think so कि आपने वो angle सोचा होगा, like, कि kind of money or business or what product to make. I don't think so इस पीछे रही होगी इतनी दिमाग में. Like, कि when you started working, like, what was the first PMF जो आपने सोचा कि हम ये बनाएंगे, या exactly उस पे land कैसे किए?
PMF तो बहुत दूर की बात है. PMF तो पता भी नहीं होता था PMF क्या होता है, एंटरप्रेन्योर क्या होता है, स्टार्टअप क्या होता है. ये सारे बज़वर्ड 2017-18 के बाद चालू हुए हैं, स्टार्टअप इंडिया के आने के बाद. और अब शार्क टैंक जब आ गया है तो घर घर में फिर वो D2C वाली ब्रांड्स बेच रहे हैं. So at that time there was no startup ecosystem, there was no ecosystem within IIT Kanpur who could support you very much. Professors were always supportive, deans and everybody. Ghosh sir was like best dean ever that IIT Kanpur could have. Could be the best dosa was like Ghosh sir, professor. So he's very dear to all of us, and probably we are also dear to him. He keeps mentioning wherever he goes. So yeah, I recall one fine day, Subbu, who's professor now, we had to test his Delta aircraft. He did not know the flying of the aircraft. Obviously, we were crazy, so we learned the flying first, and then obviously building and flying together. So we were flying. We invited professor. He was his mentor, right, for his PhD. So he came. It like took off literally maybe to a meter or 2 meter. It rolled down, and the professor. We were so ashamed कि हमने professor को बुलाया, so वो morning भी खराब कर दी उनकी. But he was very calm. कोई नहीं, दोबारा बनाओ, फिर आ जाऊँगा मैं. So then after that, he even asked कि यार go and celebrate. So maybe probably that's where we started learning from failures to celebrating them. So converting that kind of the mindset, I will give credit to our professors also, or like the colleagues and seniors as well. So if you want to know the Tech Eagle's origin story, so Tech Eagle's origin story is very, different. If you go back to my childhood, it basically lies there. It's not, so I was not passionate about, I was not thinking to build a business. I was not thinking to build drones which could do XYZ service, or it could deliver certain kind of the solution as a product or as a technology.
You were just a curious child, like, an engineer was just doing things.
Yeah, you could put it that way, I think, maybe. The right way to put it. I was just in love with these things. And I used to enjoy my time. So I don't regret a single day of my campus life. On the side note, we used to go to hostel 5 or 6 or 7 not gulab, jamun, mangoes,
Right.
apple bear,
Right,
all of
right.
that, right? Have you seen IIT Kanpur Airstrip and beyond that? There is a land, right? Barren land was there. Nowadays, it is still barren land.
No,
Beyond IIT
I don't
car,
think so. Like, there are some, I think, some
people have
class,
started building something, right?
Right.
So we used to go there with the cycle and used to go for hunting.
I
with the
used to
fruits.
cycle a lot in campus.
हाँ.
Even एक बार मैं मेन गेट से निकला था, वो पीछे गेट नहीं है, उधर उस साइड पूरा घूम के आते हैं, वहां पहुंच गए थे सुबह सुबह.
हाँ, ये पूरा अपना जो ये जो SBRA थे पुराने ओल्ड SBRA वाली पूरा इधर एंड क्रिकेट ग्राउंड के इधर से आके पूरा ये SBI वाला बैंक वैंक एंड OHC and Airstrip. Then you come to the hostel too and that same lane.
Right.
I used to ride cycle without any like holding handles or anything. entire route. It is I think 4-5 kilometer perimeter total.
Maybe.
Maybe it's huge.
It's huge. 1200 एकड़.
1200 acre. Again, flex. IIT Kanpur flex. Everybody can flex. Yeah. So coming back to the story, I come from again similar background like yours, like you were telling. My village still have I think less than 50 homes and houses. Though as a village, as a community, everybody is educated. We very much focus as a society on education.
On
probably.
education से ही होगा.
Education से ही होगा. हाँ. Though their education means like going for a government job.
10 घंटा पढ़ना, नौकरी लग जाना, लाइफ में सेटल हो जाना.
A government job, like a teacher job is also perfectly fine.
टीचर जॉब तो बहुत ऊपर है.
अच्छा, okay. Even you are saying Group D and railway and this and that.
टीचर मे बी आर्मी के लिए लोग प्रिपरेशन करते हैं गांव में बहुत ज्यादा. So
people are after group
D, railway
Group D and like crazy man. They're just spoiling their lives, lifting whatnot, like those bricks.
Right. But वो ये structure ही वैसा है, तो you can't do a lot about that.
Things are changing.
Things are changing for sure.
Things are changing. So yeah. I mean, jokes apart, in maybe I think third or fourth class, when I was in third or fourth class, one fine day we were sitting on the bank of our on the side of our pond, in village pond, and suddenly we started hearing entire village crying. Because it's a small 50 house village, and suddenly if there will be a cry, it's still not that noisy, right? In villages nowadays. In my childhood, around maybe 2000, 25 years ago, I just heard that with my friend. We were sitting, we ran to that particular place, and it was our uncle basically, who, it was winter. What happened कि जो रजाई होती है, रजाई में कोबरा बैठ गया, and when he went, तो उनको काट लिया. अब उनका जो बेटा था वो भी ऑलमोस्ट हमसे थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा उम्र के थे, अकेला ही बेटा था उनका भी, तो कज़न जो है. एंड देन वी डिड नॉट हैव अ व्हीकल इन विलेज, एंटायर विलेज एट दैट टाइम, उनको ले जाने के लिए. सो यू इमेजिन, उनको हमने ले जाने के लिए 4 किलोमीटर दूर छोटा PHC अब होगा, उस टाइम पे वो भी नहीं था, 35 किलोमीटर अवे विदाउट एनी रोड्स was the first hospital you could find. And in our villages there is a still concept कि तेजा जी या शिव भगवान के, महादेव के यहाँ पे जाने से आपका शाम पाँव वाला सारा सिस्टम खत्म हो जाएगा, 7 दिन वहाँ बैठ जाओ. अब भाई ये 4 किलोमीटर की जर्नी में everybody was going with them. बीच में हमें donkeys, literally donkeys जो सामान ढोते हैं वो मिले, and we even at that time tried carrying him on those donkeys, and by the time we reached, we could not save him. In short, we prayed. Everybody prayed that somehow he gets saved. And I don't remember the another story, which is basically my own blood sister, elder than me, before I was born. Maybe a year, not even a year old, because of the health and loss of blood, or blood was required at that time. We could not save her also. So maybe these kind of the heart broken, you can say, the situations were always behind the back. back of your mind that these problems needs to be solved on the ground level. And imagine there are 6 lakh villages, and then 6 lakh more villages which are not counted as a villages, like Dhani and whatever you call it, right? Those are not the villages. What is lacking? The access to the basic things, basic anti-venom, basic medicines, blood. Even today, it is not accessible. In metros, you can find anything more or less. So that was the resolve which was sitting in subconscious mind, maybe always. This is where I go back to and relate. In 2015, in IIT Kanpur, motor transport, that MT, samosa chai, MT, you know, right?
हाँ right.
हाँ, तो MT में बैठे थे, and that's where not about all of these things, about something else only, कि यार हम जेड स्क्वायर जाते हैं मॉल, कानपुर में उस टाइम पे वो एक ही मॉल था,
अभी भी एक ही मोटा
तो और लखनऊ 99 किलोमीटर है कानपुर से, 100 किलोमीटर है, कैब से जाते थे, एयरपोर्ट अभी भी शायद आधी बार ही चलता है या कम फ्लाइट चलती होंगी,
अब तो चलता
है
बन गया यार, बड़ा बन गया अब तो,
मेट्रो भी आ गई अब तो उस टाइम पे कुछ नहीं था, तो हम लखनऊ ही जाते थे, अब लखनऊ 100 किलोमीटर है, तो somebody just said कि यार हम बना रहे थे यूएस के लिए फिक्स्ड विंग ड्रोन्स और वो सारे लंबे लंबे वाले, सो व्हाई कांट वी डिलीवर आवर डॉक्यूमेंट्स, वी वर बेसिकली गोइंग लखनऊ फॉर पासपोर्ट एंड वीज़ा वर्क, क्योंकि यार हम ये यहाँ से जेड स्क्वायर के आसपास था पीएसके का कुछ ऑफिस, और वहाँ डॉक्यूमेंट कुछ जाने थे, तो ये डॉक्यूमेंट क्यों नहीं भेज देते, क्लास और ये सब बंक करना है, और फटाफट उसमें हो रहा था पासपोर्ट, क्योंकि कंपटीशन नज़दीक आ रहा था, तो आइडिया केम कि यार ये अपन भेज सकते हैं। पवन हंस चलता था IIT कानपुर में, अभी नहीं चलता होगा, हेलीकॉप्टर चलता था प्रोफेसर्स को ट्रांसपोर्ट करने के लिए एयरस्ट्रिप से लखनऊ एयरपोर्ट तक, हेलीकॉप्टर चलता था पवन हंस का।
डैम,
अगेन फ्लेक्स ऑफ IIT कानपुर कि प्रोफेसर्स यूज्ड टू राइड इन हेलीकॉप्टर, एंड ऑब्वियसली लाइक वी आल्सो यूज्ड टू डू ओनली राइड्स, एरोस्पेस रिसर्च राइड्स, नॉट फन राइड्स।
वो तो ग्लाइडर वाली तो अभी भी होती
होगी ना, टेकृति में भी लोग करा देते हैं कभी कभी, तो वहाँ से फिर आइडिया ये आया, तो मेरे को इसमें कुछ ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं आया कि हाँ ठीक है यार, ये तो हम कर ही रहे हैं, आई मीन आवर एयरक्राफ्ट कैन डू दिस, एयर स्ट्रिप है, उधर भी एयर स्ट्रिप है, उधर भी एयरपोर्ट है, इधर भी एयरपोर्ट है, कर देंगे। सो इट वॉज लाइक अ सॉल्व्ड प्रॉब्लम फॉर अस, बट ड्यूरिंग द सेम कन्वर्सेशन मे बी द सेम थिंग हिट बैक कि यार एक्सेसिबिलिटी और मेडिसिन पहुँचनी चाहिए ना, ये डॉक्यूमेंट वगैरह तो चलो ठीक है, एक दिन लेट भी पहुँच गया कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, अगर टाइम पे मेडिसिन नहीं पहुँचेगी तो वो बंदा मर जाएगा।
But like Vikram, like this sounds great, like you thought from that perspective, but like these are the problems that could be solved with roads or better infrastructure maybe.
कैसे?
Like if you can have better roads or accessible hospitals, like maybe as a developing country की थोड़ा मुश्किल हो।
इंडिया के पास इतना पैसा नहीं है कि हर गांव में हॉस्पिटल बना सके।
Right, true.
ठीक है, हमारे पास इतना ज़्यादा ट्रेंड डॉक्टर्स नहीं है कि इतनी बड़ी पॉपुलेशन को हर जगह कैटर कर सके।
Also true.
हर साल डिजास्टर्स नॉर्मल हो गए हैं, एवरी ईयर यू सी मेनी स्टेट्स हैविंग, पंजाब, आंध्रा, obviously Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, every year we see floods, and this year after 2-3 months you will hear again the news of the disasters.
Right, natural disasters are happening, and
however good roads you build,
right,
every 1 or 2 year that they'll get vanished. So that kind of the infra to sustain for the masses, it's changing, government is changing, but again you have to travel for 6 to 7 hours on those roads when it is hilly,
like we have different kind of terrains and high altitudes, different weathers, 50 degree to minus 50 degree, we have lot of
52
different
degree
geographical
to,
conditions.
Yeah. Crazy altitudes like 6,000,
Right.
7,000, 6,000 meters. We have habitats. Some of the habitats at like 5,500 meter to for our army on the borders and all that. So we have huge winds, we have temperature difference, we have rains, we have crazy disasters, and then on top of all these things, we have breakouts of different diseases every now and then. And literally, how many people died in COVID? It was a pandemic globally.
So I
roughly,
don't know the exact number.
Any guesstimate? Roughly, minimum or maximum?
So maybe around 2-3 in India, na?
India, you can टेक अ नंबर.
I don't know, million people maybe. No, million तो काफी ज्यादा नंबर
60 लाख लोग मरे हैं कोविड में
इन इंडिया.
ओवरऑल.
Overall.
इंडिया में 20 लाख मरे होंगे.
20, हाँ वही अगेन.
एक बार मरे ना
हाँ.
कोविड से 2 साल के या 3 साल के पीरियड में.
राइट.
ब्लड की वजह से, ब्लड अवेलेबल ना होने की वजह से हर साल कितने लोग मरते होंगे? एवरी ईयर
नो आइडिया.
सिमिलर 20 लाख.
ओके, कि उन तक ब्लड नहीं पहुंच पाता इस वजह से.
उस टाइम पे वहां पे एक्सेस नहीं होता है राइट टाइप ऑफ द ब्लड यूनिट.
मोस्टली ये नंबर विलेज एरिया से आता है.
क्यों? सब जगह से आता है. आपका जैसे अगर प्रेगनेंसी है, सो द फर्स्ट केस दैट वी टेकल्ड इन मेघालय कि एक रोड है, हवा से आपको 35 किलोमीटर है, रोड से मे बी 45-50 किलोमीटर होगा. रोड से लगना 8 घंटे. ये डिस्टेंस 8 घंटे लगते हैं ट्रेवल करने के लिए. अब सोचो एक प्रेग्नेंट लेडी इन दैट पर्टिकुलर विलेज, 8 घंटे में क्या होगा. और उस रास्ते में उसकी मौत हो गई. और उसी पर्टिकुलर रास्ते पे हमने अपना पहला जो 2021 में वहाँ पे मेघालय का प्रोजेक्ट किया था, उसमें वी डिलीवर्ड विद इन लाइक आई थिंक मे बी 18 मिनट और समथिंग. एंड दैट बेसिकली काइंड ऑफ द लीप यू कांट हैव द रोड्स. रोड्स विल ऑलवेज टेक मोर टाइम.
ये तो इवन अब मेट्रो सिटीज में भी होने लगा. लाइक यू नो यू सफर विद ट्रैफिक. लाइक इवन यू हैव बेटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, तब भी एक एक्स पॉइंट ऐसे पॉइंट पे अगर 10 किलोमीटर भी है तो भी 2 घंटे लग जा रहे हैं, 3 घंटे लग जा रहे हैं इन मेट्रो सिटीज.
मैं मुंबई था 2 दिन लास्ट, राइट. लास्ट 2 दिन में मैंने 4 घंटे की टोटल मीटिंग करी है. 2 दिन में 4 घंटे की मैंने कलेक्टिव की. एक 1.5 घंटे का पैनल था, 1.5 घंटे की मीटिंग होगी और 1 घंटे की और मीटिंग मान लो, 4 घंटे की मीटिंग. एंड गेस मैंने कितना टाइम सिर्फ ट्रैफिक में बिताया.
राइट.
ऑलमोस्ट 7 hours इन ट्रैफिक, राइट. व्हाट इज दिस रेशियो? अब वो 7, मतलब मैं 4 घंटे की मीटिंग के लिए 7 घंटा ट्रैफिक है. चलो यहाँ से ट्रेवल एंड ऑल तो फाइन है, बट इतना वहीं में लग जा रहा है. सो दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम ऑफ कंजेशन इन अर्बनाइजेशन.
एंड इन विलेज एरियाज तो है ही ज्योग्राफिकल रीजंस एंड नॉट बेटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. वो प्रॉब्लम वहाँ तो है ही.
यहाँ बरसात हो जाती है तो 2 मिनट में पूरा गुड़गांव चौक हो जाता है.
राइट राइट.
यू कांट डिलीवर एनीथिंग. रोड एक्सीडेंट्स, ये डेथ तो भी मैं गिना ही रहा हूँ अभी. कोबरा बाइट से या आपके जो 10 तरीके के जैसे टीबी से. टीबी में लोग इसलिए मर रहे हैं कि उनके पास में ना हर 15 दिन में उनको जो दवाई है वो या 1 महीने में वापस आनी है. लेकिन उसने एक बार लिया, अब उसको आना है सुबह मॉर्निंग में, बस लेगा, हॉस्पिटल जाएगा और वापस आएगा. 1 दिन की दिहाड़ी का 500 रुपये और आने जाने का 2000 रुपये. 2500 रुपये लग रहे हैं उसको फ्री की दवा लेने में भी.
ओके.
अब वो कैसे दवा को कंटिन्यू करेगा? हर महीने 2500 रुपये तो उसकी इनकम नहीं है ढंग से. एंड हम बोल रहे हैं कि टीबी मुक्त भारत बनाएंगे. इट्स अ ग्रेट विजन विद द लीडरशिप ऑफ प्राइम मिनिस्टर, बट इट हैज़ टू बी रिवोल्यूशनाइज्ड एट द नोडल पॉइंट वेयर इट इज़ हैपनिंग. यू हैव टू deliver that medicine every 15 days to him.
Right, like it's like कि you want to reach the unreached but in a particular time zone, like that is required.
Time is the currency.
Right.
There is no other currency. Money is a made up thing. Again, time is also a made up thing, but time is the battle that we are fighting. Every minute matters. And
in medical, yes, of course, or in general be time matters.
What about your Zepto Blinkit order?
Yeah, right.
If it reaches in 11 minutes,
right,
you will maybe ask for a refund.
I was
or something.
just talking about serious things like in medical every minute's matter. In Zepto we can still like have that patience, so you can wait even just like for 2-3 minutes more.
But healthcare is like in India. मैंने आई थिंक ये पब्लिकली पहले एक बार बोला है विदाउट नेमिंग एनीबडी. मैं एक बार वन ऑफ द स्टेट के चीफ सेक्रेटरी ऑफ हेल्थ से मैं मिला कोविड के टाइम पे. तो बोलते हैं कि हमने बोला कि सर इतनी जाने जा रही हैं, हम बचा सकते हैं, टाइम पे वैक्सीन पहुंच सकती है, सही से हम ट्रैक कर सकते हैं सारी चीज़ें, हम ऑलरेडी कर रहे हैं दूसरे स्टेट में, आपके स्टेट में भी कर सकते हैं. वो बोल रहे हैं यार थोड़ी कम हो जाएगी पॉपुलेशन, मरना है मरने दो. दिस इज द सिचुएशन and this is what you have to fight as an entrepreneur, not anything else. There are 10,000 other battles: technology, product, unit economics, PMF, investors, regulations, government, policy. But this mindset, one entrepreneur who is maybe like 20, 21, 22 at that time, or 24, 25, I don't know, going to chief secretary, who is the highest position holder in the state, who can change things, who has received that position to change things for good. If you will hear this kind of the thing, again the similar example from the top level person outside our country. I was in one of the event outside our country. He was also the guest there. We had a private dinner. Same vision we told. What he said कि यार वोट बैंक तो एग्रीकल्चर में है. How does it matter for health? एग्रीकल्चर के ड्रोन बना रहे हो तो बताओ. And that particular person was not relevant to agriculture. He was the one of the highest position holder for healthcare in India at the national level. So these are the parallels. At the same time, the same people are also supporting. So there are two parallel Indias which are living together. One this side of the people in politics, in every field, in investor community, in startup community, professors, college, even humans as a humans. This is what is the reality, that one side of the India is this, and one side is like, okay, let's do thing. You guys are doing good. We have
supporting.
been supporting.
I met a lot of people. So I met all types of people. Like, you know, ki if I look back, like, you know, ki we couldn't have reached this place like without any support. Like, we got support from a lot of people, be it professors, be it some policymakers.
Isn't it their duty? Are they doing any favor to us? No. Isn't it why we are paying taxes? Our parents, our society is paying taxes, huge taxes, right?
Right.
So they can get employment, better life for themselves. So they can teach, they can provide access to the, liberalize the policies, they can provide the access to the capital, a lot of other support. So what politics, bureaucrats, politicians, bureaucrats, academicians, and anybody who has an influential position to hold in private or government, they are doing maybe only 1/10th at max. I'm saying I could have said 1%, but they maybe are doing 10% of what they are capable of, what they are meant to. So they will release the policy every 2 years. There will be a new fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
Every government, there is nothing wrong in one or another. Every government will ride on the wave of the technology, on the technology. Will not deliver anything for the technology, but will ride. Why? Because technology is the least understood thing in the masses. Nobody knows about the technology.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can जुमलाफाई, right? कि एक जुमला फेंको, ये टेक्नोलॉजी में कर रहे हैं. अगर वो पैसा पूरा फेल भी हो गया, तो सवाल क्या पूछना है, किससे पूछना है, और अगर पूछेगा भी तो कि भाई दुनिया में डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज के साथ में कॉप अप करने के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी में तो इन्वेस्टमेंट करना ही पड़ेगा. तो कोई भी ग्राउंड पे और ये जितना भी हो रहा है ना ग्रोथ, ये इसलिए हो रहा है कि इंडिया का जो यूथ है वो क्रेजी है. तुम्हें नहीं फर्क पड़ता कि कौन मुझे रोक रहा है, तुम्हें करके रहना है. यू वर आफ्टर मी, right? If you want to get this particular meeting done, then you are after. I mean, nobody is supporting you.
Right.
That is the spirit which is taking India ahead. No politician is doing a favor. They are doing favor for themselves. They are doing everything just for themselves, their parties and their agendas.
So having said that, like, did you get any support from the government in terms of funds or in terms of like any kind of collaborative support and that kind of stuff?
हाँ, support बहुत मिला, लेकिन कब मिला? जब हम कर चुके हैं वो चीज़. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने एक चीज़ में पेल दिया, बढ़िया सा इन्वेस्टर आ गया ऑन बोर्ड, तो फिर दिन पीछे कि हाँ ठीक है, उनको भी पब्लिसिटी चाहिए. तो इट्स अ डुअल थिंग. सो दे आर नॉट सपोर्टिंग यू बिकॉज दे वांट टू सपोर्ट यू, दे आर सपोर्टिंग यू बिकॉज दे वांट टू लुक गुड बाय सपोर्टिंग यू. Okay, this is the grim reality. Now this is 50%. The 50% is definitely people supporting. So the support comes when you are seeking it. It is not available. You will face maybe 10 doors before you get to that support. And when time is important. अब सपोर्ट की क्या बात करोगे यार? 2017 से हम 2018 में ड्रोन की पहली डिलीवरी हमने करी दुनिया की. वर्ल्ड्स फर्स्ट डिलीवरी इन 2018 इन लखनऊ, राइट?
World's first delivery
T delivery via drone and delivery via drone in 2018 in Lucknow. Sarma ji ki chai वहाँ की famous है, तो वो we delivered, and that obviously made us viral in news down the line after a few months, after a lot of efforts. जब ये ड्रोन डिलीवरी अगर इतना फेमस हो गया तो फिर बाकी सारे लोग आपको पीछे से सपोर्ट वैसे कर सकते हैं. नाउ when we were doing all of these things, government and regulators and everybody was after us कि यार क्यों कर रहे हो, कैसे कर रहे हो, नोटिस आ जाएंगे, कॉल्स आ जाएंगे कि वी आर स्पीकिंग फ्रॉम दिस एंड दिस ऑफिस, एंड वी वर नॉट नोइंग एज अ स्टूडेंट्स एंड एज अ नॉट स्टूडेंट्स एज अ यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स की we could fly an aircraft in IIT Kanpur Airstrip. It means we could fly it in one more private space, not in a public place, but one more dedicated pre-approved private space of a ground of a college. Or a society where we can get the permissions. But still, we have faced a lot of things, and then we used to go to in 2017-18 to the DGCA and ask DG, Director General of that time, ki regulations aane. They were like, yeah, these are the dangerous things, and this is that, and all of that. And हमारे को तो, I mean, there are maybe hundreds of stories, but one again very important story कि यार ड्रोन में पेलोड लगा हुआ है, डिलीवर करना है, अगर इसमें कोई बम लगा दिया तो अरे यार अभी बम लगा के ही डिफेंस में बेच रहे हैं, राइट अपन. तो और कब ये सर्टिफिकेशन के पीक पे, when you are getting your certification done for your drone that way, they have been very very active and supportive to make things work, but it required a lot of push, and it will require in every industry always. We are a 150 crore janta now. I don't believe we are 140 anymore. We might have crossed 140 and we might have reached 150 crore.
Right.
And maybe in another 10 year, 15 year, we might be, I mean, or maybe in 20 year, I don't know the states, but maybe in 20 year, by 2047, we will be for sure 200 crore people.
Right.
Today, everything is jam-packed, from roads to the infra to the public places and everything, right? So how do we really plan and solve for those kind of the masses, right? Whom you will give the opportunities? Government is after the privatization. Government is after looking startups and us that we can create jobs. They are failing at it big times. So ultimately, all of these things can only be changed by the entrepreneurs in every field and not by the business.
And solutions to these kind of problems can only come through technology. Mostly, like ki tech, science and tech is the only solution. Like they can bring you a solution. You test it, you fail it, then you reiterate, and that's how it works.
So technology is a tool.
Okay.
Right? There is a tool. Now you had a calculator. It's a tool. You can calculate finance or you can calculate your equations.
Right.
It's a tool. So technology is also a tool. Policy is what it makes that particular weapon.
Right.
For masses, for good. So to make your technology a weapon for good, for masses, because we are a country of 200 crore people. We don't need to imagine 140, because by the time your product or service will be live, we'll be hitting 175 or 200 crore at peak. When you are maybe a unicorn, maybe you are just about to hit a unicorn status or whatever it is, right? At that particular moment, you will be serving 200 crore people. And that's where everybody in India is after D2C. You see Shark Tank, you see any other this thing. Everybody is trying to fund D2C companies who are selling you makeup, XYZ things.
Yeah, money is there.
Make a product for the rich people and you will get richer. Is the science every entrepreneur following? So that is the grim reality. And technology, with the government has utilized technology very well, right? From airports to the Aadhaar to your
UPI.
Vaccine, UPI, one of the biggest examples. Digitalization basically at the end of the day. But it is inevitable. Government is not doing it to do it, but because they have to serve 150 crore people.
They have to find ways to serve them.
Yes.
Like, to reach the unreached, if you put it that way.
Yes. मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, solve करना पड़ेगा, and at least इस government का जो energy है, वो कम से कम छुपने का नहीं है. What I like about it कि भाई ठीक है, जो भी है फेस पे है and फेल हो रहे हैं तो भी ठीक है, करते हैं, करने से होगा. So I don't know who said this particular thing, but करने से होगा is the, I think maybe the mantra कि करने से ही होता है और कुछ तरीका नहीं है लाइफ में. So society has to change that they need it. Society डिमांड ही नहीं करती कि हमें एक्सेस चाहिए हेल्थ केयर, उनको पता ही नहीं है, अवेयरनेस ही नहीं है. सो एजुकेशन इसीलिए सब लोग पता है एजुकेशन के पीछे क्यों है, क्योंकि वही एक तरीका है लॉन्ग टर्म में चेंज करने का चीज़ों को. एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इज अनदर वे टू ब्रेज इट फास्टर. टेक्नोलॉजी इज चेंजिंग एट अ रैपिड पेस. आज AI में Sarvam is doing good, no disregard again, but very few people are working on SLMs or the core fundamental models. Few IITs are just using it for some of the government, again, the utilities. But it's a service utility. Service mindset is the biggest crime, I think.
Yeah, like I think world is changing so fast. There is no option.
There's no
We have to work on it. This is inevitable.
This is inevitable.
Machines, be it AI, be it drones. They're inevitable. They are going to change the world.
Yes, and build it, not use it.
Yeah, we have seen it be it warfare, be it logistics, be it anything.
Yes.
These things are inevitable, and we have to do better as a country for
Yes.
our survival, to do better, for development, for everything.
Yes. Sovereignty is the fundamental aspect of our constitution as well, right? That we are a sovereign nation, right? Secular, democratic, sovereign nation. And that sovereignty is what people need to first think about. What is a sovereignty? How we will continue to be sovereign, right? For example, there is a sanction on us as a country. Somebody is arm twisting you for XYZ thing. Today, I'll not again name, let's say, but there are big conglomerates in India, MNCs or whatever you call them, the big family houses, who are trying to win the AI war. By trading what? Every deal has to have a trade. Somebody will give you, nobody is giving free lunches, right? So what is the trade? 140 crore people, their data, their market access as a consumer, is the trade that every big business leader or every politician will be trading with the other countries. And that is what is happening. Na? You see the access to the all AI platforms. If we have huge manpower, what is there to learn by using GPT? To really learn, it can just ease up your task. It can do task for you. There is nothing to learn beyond prompting, beyond basic prompt engineering. You are not learning, and then somebody else is recognizing your patterns. They have entered now in your mind. Earlier, they were just like at your screen.
They're affecting even your choices or a lot of things. Even if you give just a prompt, tell me what do you know about me. So it will generate a whole profile, and you will think okay, it knows me better than myself.
Yeah, half of the questions that anybody is asking in this country would be influenced by AI at this stage.
Yes,
on public
right.
forums, on social medias, on everything.
Yeah, even our conversation. I researched you about I researched about you from AI with some tools, and they had all the information. Then I just give them some another prompts, how to frame better questions,
Yes.
how to ask. I give how I like my conversations to be.
Yes.
So I give it that prompt. So
again, this is a good utilization, right? That you are utilizing AI to make your job easy and then really grow fast and without much of the resources that you require. That is a tool. But how many people are using it for good? Maybe less than 0.1%. Maybe because 1% is the full affluent category.
right.
0.1% is maybe who are using it for the good. But then the data of the another. So how is the pyramid? The poor, like that. Okay, another theory.
I got your point. Everyone talks
Poor
about
has to be poor, then only the rich can be the richer, and then only your economy can export. And this is the truth. Everybody knows it. You ask anybody, this is the truth, that Bihar, UP, all these states, if they stop producing labors today, our economy will shoot up in different way, inflation wise. And then our products, services that we are building or rendering to the global world will get higher in terms of the cost.
yeah,
Then we'll not be able to compete with China and other people.
I think with time things will change. Change is slow. I know change is slow, but I think Eventually, physical labor will also be replaced by machines in future. I think these things will happen, and as a
Definitely.
country, we will grow. Like we have reduced multidimensional poverty a lot. Now, at least, like we are doing good in certain domains.
Yes,
So I
yes.
think things are changing. Things are getting
changing.
better.
Yes.
All you need is ki how to utilize or optimize things better. Like ki everyone talks about AI, but how to govern it in a way ki like the net contribution should be positive. So if we put it that way, like ki since you also mentioned like ki how you are going to change the life and impact. So I think policy level पे we have to make sure कि the contribution of these things should be net positive.
हाँ, न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी के जैसे होना
Right.
चाहिए. जैसे न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी कॉम्पैक्ट करके क्यों नहीं बना पा रहे हैं हम, हार्नेस क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे हैं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के लिए, कि जितना ज़्यादा तुम्हें उसको स्टेबलाइज करने के लिए लगेगा प्लाज्मा को. आई थिंक द हाईएस्ट रिकॉर्ड इज 3 सेकेंड टू होल्ड द प्लाज्मा. अब अगर उसमें नेट इनपुट ज़्यादा लग गया एनर्जी का और आउटपुट कम आ रहा है तो लॉस मेकिंग एफर्ट है. तो टेक्नोलॉजी का भी वही है कि अगर आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी बनाने में, रेंडर करने में, सर्विस देने में जो एंटायर कॉस्ट है पूरा एनर्जी का, वो अगर ज़्यादा लग रहा है और जो आउटपुट आ रहा है वो उससे कम है या फिर एटलीस्ट 10x बेटर नहीं है, तो आई थिंक द सॉल्यूशन इज नॉट अ सॉल्यूशन. इफ इट इज नॉट अ 10x बेटर इन इंडिया, इट हैज़ टू बी एटलीस्ट 25x better or 50x better, because we are a country of masses and we have to reduce the price significantly, and the cost and gestation period both are in long horizon. So for example, one technology to make sense, it will take 20 years. For an IT to make sense, it will take 10 years.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's revolve it around drones and what you are building. So from that perspective, let's talk about this.
Yes.
Ki what you are building, how
Yes.
much it costs you, and in long term, how it is going to change.
Sure. So I think we derailed from that particular moment where what we were building. So the vision that we started with was very simple, humane, and natural. Basically, we didn't think too much about it. It was very natural कि इंडिया में या पूरी धरती पे I consider myself as a citizen of maybe this planet at least, if not the universe, at least the Earth planet, right? I don't imagine the boundaries, even of the countries. 50 countries might be the conflict. As a citizen of this particular Earth, every place on this particular Earth, if that is a habitat, if there is a habitat, right? If somebody is living there, right? Be it the defense or non-defense, they should be able to access universally and equitably. Equal, not equal. Equal is not possible and not needed also. It has to be equitable. So equitable, universal access to anybody, everywhere, all the time, or better way to put it is in the time, is what Techeagle as a vision was born. And we have continued living that same vision of delivering all essentials, be it medicine, be it critical, be it commerce, be it anything, or be it even in the information. It has to be delivered within the 1 hour of the need arises. In healthcare or in critical care, it is called golden hour. That, for example, the snake bites someone, right? Then from that moment, the first 1 hour is a golden hour. If you can save somebody, this is the 1 hour. So it means within 1 hour you have to reach. And we deep dive in particular connectivity, logistics, how the India is diversified. We have traveled from 2015 to 17, 18, before drone delivery of the chai became the reality. We traveled, I think, the entire country in different ways and figured out that the last mile is the bottleneck. You can have a flight from Mumbai to Delhi, Delhi to Jaipur. What after Jaipur? For example, your village. Right. It will, today, after the highways and everything, it might take maybe 2-3 hours from Jaipur. Still 2-3 hours it will take?
Yeah, like from?
From your village to Jaipur.
More than 3 hours.
More than 3 hours? So, I mean, you can't reach in 1 hour.
From my home, it takes 3 hours. So, from village, it will take 4 hours at least.
4 hours, right? When it's flat, there are roads, there are everything. You are not living in hills, more or less. There is a very small hill, right? There is no, there are no hills.
Rajasthan is like land.
Land only. I mean, the small hills are all hills. So, if you reach in 4 hours, most of the cases in critical conditions, someone will die. So, if that medicine reaches you in time, That is what is important. If you, as a farmer producing, let's say, or not, you're not producing, but let's say you don't have today access to the market to sell your products at a right price, it has to go to the local mandi only at the cheap price. So that kind of access to the market, because 60% India is producing farm goods. So they have to have better access, but right price also. Similarly, they have to have access to accessing the life, which is e-commerce, commerce, anything that you want, and then healthcare. These are the things which gave us the fuel for our vision that India is a huge country, diversified challenges. We have to have a solution which works in desert of Rajasthan, which works in coastal areas of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, which works in northeastern part of the varied terrains, high winds, high altitudes. That is the kind of the technology we had to build. That was the challenge we took on. The journey of building the entire technology also is parallelly exciting. We started with the fixed wing, soaring with the eagles, go long range, low power, but we had airstrip. Flex, but now a problem. So in 2016, December, January 2017, so 29th or 30th December 2016, we moved to Lucknow. One thing I knew that IIT Kanpur is a comfort life. IIT Kanpur is very easy to live. I mean, you can live an economical life there and you won't realize that, I mean, outside world is very different, right? We were just discussing about that also. So one good decision we took that let's go in a uncomforting zone of Lucknow. We have to pay rents, office, this, that. Let's not incubate in IIT Kanpur because no airport at that time was there who was having frequent flights. There is no good connectivity and there is no market. There is nothing that needs to be done here. So we moved to Lucknow and then from there on we started building and that's when we realized that now there is no infra, there is no airstrip. It had to take off vertical. So we pulled our sleeves and then we started building the multi-rotors. कि यार मल्टी रोटर बनाते हैं, हमने बनाए थे 2012 से.
You made multi-rotors and eVTOLs like because वहाँ पे airstrip नहीं थी.
वहाँ पे एयरस्ट्रिप नहीं थी इसलिए मल्टी रोटर बनाए. अभी हम eVTOL का इजाद नहीं किए हैं. अभी हम सिर्फ मल्टी रोटर बना रहे हैं.
ओके.
अब मल्टी रोटर
बट उसकी लैंडिंग और टेक ऑफ वो है ना कि उसी जगह पे होना चाहिए, नॉट लाइक रनवे नहीं होना चाहिए.
रनवे नहीं होना चाहिए. रेस्ट्रिक्शन आ गया कि भाई आपको 5 फीट बाई 5 फीट या 5 मीटर बाई 5 मीटर से उड़ना है.
ठीक है.
उतना इंफ्रा है. इंडिया में इंफ्रा नहीं है भाई, नहीं चेंज हो सकता. जब ये रियलिटी हिट हुई तब हमने फिर चालू किया कि यार मल्टी रोटर पे शिफ्ट होते हैं. मल्टी रोटर बनाया. 2018 में जो डिलीवरी हुई है वो हमारा कंप्लीटली इंडिजिनियस एट दैट टाइम ड्रोन से डिलीवरी हुई है, वो भी पब्लिक की है वीडियो. सो दैट गेव अस कि यार 4 रोटर sucking energy like anything all the time, whereas we were able to consume very less energy with one rotor and produce lift with the wings in fixed wing. Now we had best of both कि मल्टी रोटर में क्या हो रहा है, वर्टिकल हो जा रहा है. फिक्स्ड विंग में क्या हो रहा है, दूर तेजी से जा सकते हैं. मल्टी रोटर की स्पीड जो है, आपका मल्टी रोटर कैसे उड़ता है कि 4 थ्रस्ट आपके ऊपर की तरफ है. अगर फॉरवर्ड जाना है तो टिल्ट करोगे, एक कंपोनेंट आपका फॉरवर्ड में आ जाएगा, एक कंपोनेंट लिफ्ट करके रखेगा. बट दैट सेम मोटर इज डिवाइडेड इन 2 फोर्सेज नाउ, फॉरवर्ड एंड अप. तो अगर आप तेज करोगे तो एंगल टिल्ट होता जाएगा. बियॉन्ड एंगल इट विल स्टार्ट लूजिंग द लिफ्ट. Simple physics. So once it will start losing the lift of the vertical part, it can't carry the payload or it can't attain the high speed. There is a restriction, but it can do vertical takeoff and landing. So that's when then we thought that why can't we build a hybrid aircraft? That's where the India's first hybrid got conceptualized in parallel world. I'm not saying that we'll claim the first. Maybe it was Idea Force Switch, or maybe it was our Aquila. The previous name of the same the aircraft, which you might see on the top floor. Then this particular aircraft got into the mind as a concept कि now we can do the hybrid part. हमारे पास हमने मल्टी रोटर्स बना रखे हैं, हमने फिक्स्ड विंग बना रखे हैं. हमें बस अपने कंट्रोल एल्गोरिथम्स को बस यही करना है कि यार किस टाइम पे आपको मल्टी रोटर में चलना है, किस टाइम पे फिक्स्ड विंग में चलना है, और किस टाइम पे ट्रांजिशन होना है. सो ट्रांजिशन वाज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम कि भाई जब ऐसे उड़ जाओगे और ऐसे उड़ोगे तो कैसे ट्रांजिशन होगा. द चैलेंज वाज कि आपको जब फिक्स्ड विंग में उड़ते हो तो जो विंग है वो लिफ्ट देती है एट अ वेलोसिटी, कि जैसे आपका रनवे पे रन करता है, एक अटेन करता है स्पीड, वो लिफ्ट देती है एंड देन यू टेक ऑफ. फिक्स्ड विंग तो ये वाला जो पार्ट है ये और मल्टी रोटर के बीच में जो है ये वाज वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स.
Yeah, like I can see the design, like कि aeroplane kind of design, like mixed with some quadcopter, like that kind of design.
Yes.
It looks very different.
Yes.
So like how it is so much efficient, and like how, like this is Vertiplane, right?
Yes.
Behind you.
Yes. So this particular, and I mean whatever you can refer to. So you see 4 rotors. You see this particular fixed wing. Now what we have done is over-engineered up to a point where it is so efficient that it is producing 94% less carbon to carry 5 kg payload, which you carry on bike, EV bike. I'm not saying the petrol or petrol bike. So why? Because a person of 70, 80, 90 kg, bike of 250 kg, and delivering what? 500 gram to 5 kg parcel.
Right.
So it's an energy function at the end of the day.
What is the weight of this Vertiplane?
So this, the weight of this aircraft, one of the variant of this, let's say Vertiplane X3, will weigh 14 kg, will lift 5 kg, 19 kg total weight, is carrying 5 kg for a 100 kilometer distance at a speed of 120 kilometer per hour. So now you reach 100 kilometer in how much time? 50 minutes.
100 kilometer तक ये जा सकता है, like beyond
single charge,
beyond the line of visibility.
That is the core in technical terms. What Techeagle is, we are creating the BVLOS category from the day one and owning the BVLOS category beyond visible line of sight. कि जहां तक पायलट देख नहीं सकता है हम उसके बाद से ही चालू होते हैं.
So like how it works, like is it fully autonomous, or like it needs manual piloting, or how it's done?
Again, good question. कि we started with manual control. कि भाई fixed wing उड़ाते हैं, manual controller से उड़ाते हैं. But we knew one thing very very clearly कि इंडिया में logistics का जो market है वो सबसे कम मार्जिन वाला मार्केट है. Margins are thin. Every day you have to reduce the cost of logistics only to increase your profits. E-commerce, hyperlocal, everything you see. And it is going day by day down. So now that kind of the cost you have to meet. And that's basically is what gave us the clarity that what needs to be built. So we then designed this entire aircraft after studying the entire data that we have collected from all the private companies, our alumni network from all these companies, as well as the public markets, and on-ground research. Ki I was telling you about the last mile. कि इंडिया का last mile सिर्फ mile नहीं है. It is between 25 kilometer to 50 or 75 kilometer also. तो आपका लास्ट माइल का मतलब है इंडिया में कि जहां पे आपका वेयर हाउस आखिरी में एंड होता है, छोटा डिस्ट्रिक्ट वेयर हाउस जहां पे है, वहां से जहां कस्टमर रह रहा है वो कितना दूर हो सकता है.
ओके.
जैसे सिटी में उनके वेयर हाउस से हम आज जैसे जेप्टो ब्लिंकिट के वेयर हाउस से हम 2 किलोमीटर दूर है, राइट. रूरल इंडिया में आप 25 से 75 किलोमीटर दूर हो. 75 तब जब आप हिली टेरेन्स में घूम रहे हो, ग्राउंड डिस्टेंस बहुत हाई है. एरियल माइट भी 25, 35, 50, लेस देन 50. सो अब 100 किलोमीटर डे वन पे नहीं था कैपेबिलिटी. वी स्टार्टेड विद अराउंड 60 किलोमीटर कि 25 किलोमीटर के दायरे में हमारे 70-75% एरियाज कवर हो जाएंगे, 25% बाद में कैटर कर लेंगे. दैट्स हाउ वी स्टार्टेड. And all the medicines that you need in critical care is less than 2 kg. So we started the 2 kg, 60 kilometer, flying more than I think 85 kilometer per hour or something, 90 kilometer per hour at that time. Akela X2, 2 kg payload in 2020. So 2020 is when we launched that. So this particular product then gave us that confidence कि okay, अब इंफ्रा की जरूरत नहीं है, तेज स्पीड हमसे कोई नहीं ज़्यादा जा सकता. So today also this is the Vertiplane is Asia's fastest and longest range drone carrying the maximum payload in the single charge. Okay. All these parameters put together कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपको 100 किलोमीटर जाना है और टोटल वजन 20 किलो से कम होना चाहिए एयरक्राफ्ट का, और वो 5 किलो उठाना चाहिए, और 100 किलोमीटर भी 50 मिनट में जाना चाहिए.
ऐसा कोई प्लेन नहीं है एशिया में,
कोई नहीं है. Nobody can beat this.
Wow.
Uncontested. And we have participated in more than 25 odd tenders, which Out of them, maybe 15-20 were having technical demonstrations before you could open the financial bid. We won technically in 100%. And wherever there was a technical side-by-side demonstration for a required range and payload and everything, nobody could beat us in any of the terrain. When you will go a little further in the detail about the terrain, the wind, the altitude, then the temperature, a lot of other things also. So all these things we were not knowing at day one. What we were good at is हमने बनाया है, हम जा रहे हैं टेस्ट करने. जैसे कि हम रात को बनाते थे, सुबह टेस्ट करने चले जाते थे कानपुर में. उड़ना चाहिए ना, मतलब then only, I mean, whatever your building is working.
Right.
तो हमने बनाया, हमने उड़ाया, हमने बनाया, हमने उड़ाया, हमने बनाया, हमने कमर्शलाइज किया, जो सीखा फिर से इम्प्लीमेंट किया. सो वी हैव डन from TRL 2.5 technology readiness level in 2000, let's say 18, 19 or 20. लास्ट 5 साल में हमने 9 आइटरेशन करे एयरक्राफ्ट के, 5 कमर्शियल साइकिल किए. कमर्शियल साइकिल मतलब वो प्रोडक्ट कमर्शियल ऑपरेशंस में गया, सैंडबॉक्स कमर्शियल ऑपरेशंस में, और उसके बाद में हमने उसको वापस से इम्प्रोवाइज किया. So this particular thing gave us enormous data about the winds, altitudes. We worked with all telecom providers that how to communicate with your drone over such large distances at high speed. If you are going in your car on highway at 100 km/h, you will face glitches on your connectivity on phone.
Right.
Right? And then there is a tower switches between.
It happens in train too, like when we travel in train.
120 km/h you travel in the train, right? Similarly, now we're working with the all telecom providers to customize that at what altitude, what is the angle of your antennas, to provide the maximum range for the ground as well as the air. We shifted from radio frequency, which is a common default setting of all 100% drone companies that you might have seen. So then we worked with good partners like Qualcomm. So we won Qualcomm Design India Challenge in 2022. Build again India's first, one of the few in global arena who could provide your cellular connectivity over 100 kilometer range. And so this is again one example that there is a sequence of solving problems at hand as you go ahead. So that actually led our R&D to be very frugal. We are 500x better in terms of the capital utilization than our peers, you can say, not competitors, because we don't compete. We are in like very different way and different zones. But who can you imagine as a drone company globally, other than like Techeagle today?
In terms of logistics.
In terms of logistics, connectivity and access.
Don't know a lot, but like
maybe
in
one
India,
or two names.
I hosted Indoor Air. I covered Indoor Air.
Their primary focus is not civil logistics, but they're building the military drones, I believe. So Zipline could be the name, for example. Google Wing could be the name. Matternet, Manna, all these are doing great work. And our technology, if not better, will be at par with them. They have raised billions of dollars. They have spent $1 billion and then discarded the entire technology and product after $1 billion spent, and then they came the same concept that we have launched in 2021. Now they are working on the same concept and spending $600 million more. So that is the kind of the capital efficiency as an entrepreneur in India you have to build.
Like Indian engineers are very creative. I will not call it jugaad. I will call it creative engineering. Like Indian engineers, like, you know, the kind of things they can create in low resources.
Yes.
Be it ISRO or be it any entrepreneur. Like, you know, just give them some tinka support and they will do wonders.
They will do wonders. Definitely. And this is what actually led us also. We bootstrapped. I took out some money from our education loan in IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
Brought some initial stuff. Then started building and then started generating revenue from the boot camps, different colleges, IITs that we were just discussing. And then we were parallelly building our product. कि हम 5 दिन प्रोडक्ट बनाएंगे, 2 दिन हम ये सब चीज़ें करेंगे, पैसा 2 दिन कमाएंगे, 5 दिन काम करेंगे, और फिर उसके बाद में that's how we basically started surviving ourselves.
Right.
And then 2018 was the year when we broke out like as a viral. We were trending for 48 straight hours. Facebook, Google News, and like whatever the platforms were.
Okay. So like just continuing to this
Drone.
Vertiplane. So is it fully autonomous, as I asked? Like, if we talk about the levels of autonomy, so
Yeah, so we started with the complete manual, and today it is autonomy level 4.3 and above.
Okay.
What it means?
Please explain it for the layman.
Yeah. So what it means is, okay. So autonomy को सिंपल तरीके से देखते हैं, 5 लेवल मानते हैं, 1 2 3 4 5.
ठीक है.
1 का मतलब है कि भाई सब कुछ मैनुअल है. 2 का मतलब है कि भाई कुछ प्रोसेसेस हैं जो उसमें आपको ह्यूमन की जरूरत नहीं है.
ठीक है.
3 का मतलब है कि आपको अब पायलट उड़ाएगा नहीं, कुछ करेगा. मे बी टेक ऑफ लैंडिंग, मे बी फ्यू क्रिटिकल एस्पेक्ट्स. जैसे अपना पैसेंजर एयरक्राफ्ट में भी सिर्फ लैंडिंग टेक ऑफ के टाइम पे ही पायलट अपना काम करता है, बाकी टाइम पे ऑटो पायलट पे चल रहा होता है. ठीक है. So maybe that is the autonomy level 3. Then you will go to 3.5, and then that's where you like, I don't do anything, I just monitor. Okay. Then there is the 4.
You just put a location like point A, point B, something like that.
So we are at where you receive a order. You need to load right now manually it. Other than loading the aircraft with your parcel manually, there is no manual work. Fully autonomous. So we now will be heading to 4.5, and eventually the between 4.5 to 5 is the journey where it's fully autonomous, end to end. From inserting the parcel to the delivery to the return to the charging to the everything. And we started with one comparison. Vertiplane X3 is one product. Any other product you take in India, and ask, let's say, one group of pilots or who can operate the drones basically, कि इन दोनों को ऑपरेट करो फॉर डिलीवरी ऑपरेशंस. बाकी सब ड्रोन्स के लिए 2 लोग लगेंगे A लोकेशन पे, 2 लोग लगेंगे B लोकेशन पे. अब somebody might have, let's say, requiring, let's say, 2 people, 1 drone, 1 route. Now imagine your 1 drone is delivering to 5 routes. It means 5 people plus 5 on nodes, and maybe 5 plus 5 here. So 10, 20 people operating 1 drone for serving these 5 routes. Is the level of X drone, let's say any other drone, Vertiplane, you can operate 1 drone on these 5 routes with just 1 person as a monitoring guy. That is where it is. We are taking it to the greater autonomy levels, where even you can scale it to 10 drones. So now 1 drone on 10 routes, 10 drones on more than 10 routes, still you can monitor and operate by one particular pilot.
So you have tested it, or you're...
So 1:5 we have been operating in terms of, obviously as per the regulations, you have to have all the things. We are working with the regulators also to induct the autonomy levels as part of the policy and the certifications and everything. We have been championing for this particular thing, because eventually, imagine, the drones came because pilots are no more required.
Right.
And we are having more than drone companies in certification. More than them, there are RPTOs who are training people and drone didis and this and that to become a skilled jobless person at the end of the day. भाई ड्रोन को पायलट की जरूरत नहीं है, तभी तो वो ड्रोन है ना. ड्रोन का फंडामेंटल डेफिनेशन ही यही है कि उसको पायलट की जरूरत नहीं है.
Right.
I have been saying this on public forums, to the DGCA meetings, to the MOCA. Everybody agrees also कि यार ड्रोन है तो फिर लोगों की ट्रेनिंग की क्या ज़रूरत है. बट हम जिस देश में हैं वहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं ऐसी जो डीरेल करती है मेन एजेंडा से. बट अगेन पॉइंट इज़ कि आपको अगर ये 20 लोग लगाओगे तो फिर वो जो गिग वर्कर वाली इकोनॉमी बनी हुई है बाइक से डिलीवरी करने की, उसको आप कैसे बीट कर सकते हो. आपके लोग इधर ज़्यादा लग रहे हैं, ड्रोन महंगा है, बैटरी महंगी है, सब कुछ महंगा होने के बाद आप उनसे सस्ता और फास्ट डिलीवर करना चाह रहे हो. That is the biggest challenge that we have solved now.
So, like, I have just... Okay, first curious question is, like, talking about this payload. So, is there any, like, idea behind the design?
Okay, well, you can hold it also, like, You can pick it up in your hand.
Okay. Oh,
कितना वजन है? बोल लाइट
100 ग्राम 150 ग्राम
है ना? And how much weight inside this it can carry?
5 kgs 4-5 kgs as you mentioned.
As a structural body of this particular this thing, it can carry easily 15 kg.
Okay,
So now this is the patented pod as well.
patented.
Yes. So what is another phenomenon? I mean, I think we are just talking publicly, just first time.
I've seen this structure in one of the book,
Huh?
if I'm not wrong.
It's not about the shape that you're looking.
Okay.
It's about the engineering that this shape carries. Okay. So one thing you understood the structure part. Lightweight, can carry huge weight. It can counter its own weight. So for example, when it is in the air, this is countering its own weight. So it's a zero weight pod in the air. It produces the lift to counter its own weight.
So, okay, let me process that.
Yes.
So you are saying like कि when the vertiplane goes into the air, so it counters its own weight and eventually it becomes net zero.
This pod.
Yeah.
Yes. So now scale it to the 100 kg. Now scale it to the 200 kg, 1 ton. And at that time, your box weight will be a huge cost to carry in the air. This is how the innovation at the very specific level is needed to achieve the unit economics of your
and
energy.
like just talking about the unit economics, like at this point of time, how much it costs you, like कि if you have to send a vertiplane from point A to B, like let's say 20-25 kilometers with a 5 kg to 10 kg payload.
Yes.
So how much it costs you?
So,
like
we
what is the
start-
cost attached to it?
So we started with the cost. We started in 2020 during COVID time with the cost metric of around 200 rupees per kilometer as a cost, right? Which it will, once you render the entire solution as a service,
Right.
it will cost you 200 rupees per kilometer. Then the autonomy level, the aircraft. I mean, there are few factors in unit. So how the unit economics will work? How many kilometers your aircraft will last in your lifetime? So the entire asset can be converted
Yeah.
into your kilometers.
Right.
Factor 1, factor 2, battery. How many batteries you will use in an entire cycle.
Right.
Third, infra that we discussed. Infra, how did we solve? And then manpower. We discussed about the manpower also. How many manpower we have sold against anybody else. How much less infra we require against anybody else.
Right.
The third thing which we discussed about the entire product, our product, again, one more, I mean, you will be shocked and everybody will be shocked maybe, I mean, even your viewers also. जितने भी ड्रोन हैं इंडिया में वो सब 20,000 से 50,000 किलोमीटर से ज़्यादा नहीं चलते हैं लाइफ साइकिल.
You are talking about the life cycle.
हाँ, अब एक ड्रोन अगर 50 लाख का आर्मी खरीद रही है या 1 करोड़ का खरीद रही है, वो चलेगा 50,000 किलोमीटर. तो समझ लो कि 1 किलोमीटर की कॉस्ट कितनी आ रही है, 10,000 रुपये एंड बियॉन्ड. That is the kind of the cost the government is bearing today for Chinese and the assembled and local manufactured drones also, which is lasting 500 landing cycles. What does it mean? 500 landing cycle? No other drone you will find beyond 10 kilometer and 20 kilometer in distance in one single charge or a flight. People are going up to 20 kilometer only because that is what the max multi-rotors can go, right? And then fixed wing is an engineering project altogether. It's not just like a multi-rotor, you can assemble this thing. Now 20 kilometer into 500 cycles, 10,000 kilometers.
Right.
That is the life cycle of the product. Tender will have a specification of the, you search for the GEM tenders, they'll have mentions. This should have minimum 500 landing cycles, which means what? 20 kilometer one flight, 500 landing cycles, 10,000 kilometer. For a drone which is 1 crore in price.
Very, very depreciating asset.
Exactly. Now, that is what was the challenge we took on. Our aircraft, we started with a 2,000 landing cycle, 50 kilometer was the range, 60 kilometer with the buffer 50, let's say. We are always under promising, over delivering. Okay? So 50 ले लेते हैं अपन. 50 kilometer into 2,000 landing cycles. 1 lakh. That is where we started. Today, this product has 6,000 landing cycles and 100 kilometers range, 6 lakh kilometer, without overhauling
So you're talking about the life cycle
of the flight that it can attain.
6 lakh kilometers.
Yes, that is what is the engineering marvel that this product has as a third component. Unit economics, bringing that down is not the just game of buying cheap products.
So like if you like for the layman if you can just simplify the mathematics ki again coming back to the original question ki like how much it cost like in general.
So in general वही कि 200 किलोमीटर पर किलोमीटर से कॉस्ट करता था ये जब शुरुआत करी थी और आज ये 10 रुपए पर किलोमीटर पे हम ले आए हैं.
Like
20x difference.
It is like at par with offline delivery.
Exactly.
And every time it can get better.
11-12 रुपए आज भी लग रहा है पर किलोमीटर.
Yeah, right. Even more than that.
More than that. 35 रुपए लग रहा है 2 किलोमीटर की डिलीवरी का. So literally 17-18 रुपए पर किलोमीटर लग रहा है. हम 10 पे ले आए हैं and that's where now we have huge pipeline build up for the commerce.
I think अगर cost इतनी कम है तो people don't mind paying.
They only will pay you what they are paying to the ground logistics और उसके ऊपर उनको फास्ट भी चाहिए, ऑटोनोमस भी चाहिए, उनको कॉस्ट नहीं बढ़ानी है, वो नहीं बढ़ती है, ये मार्केट का रूल है.
So you have to be competent enough कि
with the ground logistics.
Right.
Yes, and that's what we have built, and that is the differentiation. Nobody can snitch from us. I talked about the technology, capability. So we are, I'm fan of big, hairy, audacious goals. Maybe Jim Collin or somebody introduced in West कि भाई आपका जो गोल है जो वैल्यू एड है तो वैल्यू कॉस्ट फ्रंटियर जो आपका प्रोडक्ट का है वो मास अफोर्डेबल होना चाहिए. व्हाट इज आवर विजन? यूनिवर्सल, इक्विटेबल, एक्सेस टू ऑल, एनी टाइम, एवरीवेयर, राइट? So it has to cater to all those parameters. So, and again in 1 hour. So all the products that you see ours, whatever is their range, that range they will attain in less than 1 hour, always. Down the line also. So that is the deep philosophy tech and product companies have to have around their vision, around their mission, not about the fancy technology. The fancy, now it is fancy, right?
Right.
Because we are solving a problem. And in the process of solving problem as an engineer, when you are married with the problem, with the solution mindset, you then maybe figure out with your team, great minds, engineers, this kind of the breakthroughs basically, which then enable you for a long-term business. Now our partners who is leasing out or buying these products will enjoy profits they can earn back in less than 12 months. Every asset has a 5-year cycle.
So who are your current customers or current set of people who are using these vertiplanes or verticopters?
All the healthcare institutes of state and center, disaster management, your B2B commerce, quick commerce, e-commerce companies, not hyper-local yet. These are our prime customers. So we are a B2G, B2B kind of the organization.
Are you profitable right now?
No. Obviously, profits. We want to be obviously profitable. We are good margins having at a unit economics level. We are profitable at a operations level, at a project level, at a company level. Probably we don't want to be profitable at this stage because the scale is what is the needed right now, not the profitability. We are solving for the, again, 200 crore लोगों के लिए access.
So Vikram, other than Vertiplane, you have one more core product, which is Verticopter. So tell me about that and उसका क्या thought process है, वो कहाँ काम आता है, and physics behind it.
So as we discussed, we started with fixed wing in IIT Kanpur, then we moved to multi-rotor in Lucknow, and then we moved to hybrid eVTOL, which is fusion, best of both helicopter technology as well as the fixed wing technology. We are getting the best part of your takeoff, vertical takeoff and landing, and the highest range and speed. Now there are certain applications which had the application of short range, more payload, not so fast delivery, but more continuous, more and more deliveries basically, and where you need even more compact in size, more payload to be delivered, but more compact in size. That's where only multi-rotors, for example, in this particular place, if let's say I want to get a commerce parcel or a pizza delivered, right? And I can club, for example, 10 parcels in one shipment, one flight, and I can deliver and then I can distribute it. For those kind of applications, Verticopter, as the name suggests, कि vertical takeoff होता है, verti, and copter is with the rotors, basically, the rotor technology. So Verticopter is that series, and Vertiplane is the hybrid series.
So that is for like hyper local areas or for just
Urban logistics, you can say in one word, is for Verticopter, and Vertiplane is for both. For little longer distance, so up to 10-15 kilometer, Verticopter will do. Beyond 15 kilometer to 100 kilometer, Vertiplane will do. So it's like two products serving one radius and another radius.
right. So like if you just look at like 2-3 years from now, so like
Mhm.
how you are going to see your drone serving to like key different industries or different customers, like how this is going to change with time.
Sure. So in 2-3 years or down the line, the product is capable to lift any kind of the product, right? So already there are diagnostic companies, there are healthcare, commerce, e-commerce, quick commerce companies, which have been doing extensive pilot programs as well as the continuous programs for more than 12 months with us. So already pretty much industries like manufacturing industries for spare part, the service industry, government obviously, the state governments for healthcare, disaster, and India Post. We did India Post first project in Kutch, second in Arunachal, and now working with them to transform India Post Logistics also. So these all clients are very very different, right, in their nature of the business. So they are using us as their technology partner, that we are
Okay.
enabling them to carry their parcels instead of from ground to the air. Now they will not use bike, they'll use drones, which is more reliable, more fast, autonomous, safe. So
So like Vikram, how like I would love to just understand like how end to end everything works. Like ki let's say ki, like from just like putting the load to delivery, that operating system, everything how it works. Like
Mhm.
you are just explaining your Eagle OS and everything. So like like let's put it that way. Like everything. Let's put everything like in one place. Like how everything works.
Okay, so it's a three-step process.
Hmm.
Simple. You order something via your preferred app. For example, you order it via, um, let's say, 1mg or Zomato or a Swiggy kind of the app. You place your order. Now that order, if you fall in an area where drone delivery is enabled, or in a category which is enabled for the drone, for example, or you have selected as a drone option, so first job is to place that order. It redirects to the ROS where the demand hits. Automatically that processes. That's where now the our EagleOS comes in. So every order for multiple aspects. So for example, one order received from X location. Now that particular location is having what weather, what wind, what is the route, what is the ATC's permission, what is the defense clearance. All of those manual processes which could have taken many hours to days also. Over these years, we have built the autonomy at the backend layer also, which processes it in like milliseconds, and then does everything autonomously, and then assigns it a drone, a battery, a monitoring guy, as well as the time slots, everything, and then automatically it keeps running on. So this is the that part. Then that particular parcel, second step is you pack and load the parcel, and third step is you receive the parcel. So in these three steps it gets completed, and at the back end EagleOS handles multiple tasks repetitively and more seamlessly.
So like ki I was just like reading some resources, and it says like ki you describe Tech Eagle OS as Tech Eagle's like proprietary flight control stack, like engineered for GPS denied and EW3 turned weather disrupted zones.
Mhm.
So does it a defense angle to it, like ki I have read somewhere like it also is defense angle, it is a defense ready tech.
Uh, So first of all, today defense is in visual line of sight, as
Okay.
everybody knows, and we
Hmm.
are beyond visual line of sight. And
Okay.
defense need beyond visual line of sight because defense is need to look in the territory of the other enemy or the person, the country. So they have to go beyond where they can see, right? That's where you have an eye in air where you cannot see directly.
Mhm.
So defense tech is what defense uses, right? Now defense is not able to use the BVLOS because radio frequency range does not go beyond line of sight.
Okay.
They need to have the infrastructure of the different layer of the network, which now they are also putting. We are also putting with them. So dual use is what Techeagle is. So all of our product, Vertiplane series, Verticopter series, these are the two product series. So for example, 5 kg in Verticopter X5, Verticopter X5, Vertiplane X5 is also 5 kg. Range is huge difference, 20 kg and 100 kilometer. Similarly, the next product line that we will be going ahead with will be 50 kg in payload, 200 kilometer in range, which is a Vertiplane X50. Verticopter X50 is a 50 kilometer payload, 50 kg payload, and 50 kilometer range.
So you are working on this.
Yes, this is already fully designed. It is
Mhm.
now going in a batch production, and then soon, by the end of this year, we should be able to see this in live also. And then we are going with the third line of the product, which will touch the 1 ton and 1,000 kilometer in terms of the range. So we are just focused on these three.
So you are going to like collaborate with the defense, or are you like in touch with them
We
like
are
for this?
already, we were completely part of the EP6. We were part of all these current demonstrations which are going on in CNC. How we are planning to go for defense is it has to be repetitive, it has to be sustainable. It can't be like we have sold 10 drones in defense and then there is no nothing beyond that, right? So similarly in B2G also, we
Mhm.
introduced drone as a service as a category itself, where your monthly payment can be done like B2B in B2G segment. And all of our contracts are like that. So that kind of the shift is what we are bringing in defense also, that we don't get stuck in that particular zone. And we are passionate, we are going slowly, and we don't want to cater to every request that comes through the tender. Our product has to be dual use. That is the core we have been focusing on, that if my vertiplane or any product is used in defense, it has to have an application in civil also. If it is not having application in civil, I am not going to build that product and sell it to only defense,
Yeah,
because
right.
defense is not repetitive
Yeah,
sales
like
cycle.
and I think their feedback loops also work in different way. Like they have certain demand,
Yes,
and you have to fulfill that demand. But there is no guarantee that demand is going to survive for next 1 or 2 years.
they can cancel it anytime also. They can do, and they have cancelled many tenders recently
Right,
as well.
right, right.
Yeah.
So like, how is your do you, like ki, how it is working with them? Like, is it hard to work with them, or is it easy?
I'll not say it is easy, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
not say it is difficult. It is
Okay.
moderately complex system, which as a process it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to follow the strict process set by the procurement agencies in defense, which is important to procure good technology, indigenous
Hmm.
technology, and reliable technology for armed
Yeah,
forces.
like we can't also complain like they need the best,
They need the best. Their lives are at the stake.
right?
Our country's safety, sovereignty is at the stake. So you might have seen a lot of people supplying anything and everything. We don't do that. It might take 2 years. We are not going anywhere. Defense is not going anywhere. National security is not going anywhere. So we will induct right product with the, because in logistics, every flight, every time need to deliver that parcel safely. So for us, time and mission completion with the safety is most critical. So all of our drones, all of our missions are redundant in terms of the communication, in terms of the propulsion, in terms of the GPS. Like you were mentioning that what is the GPS denied system.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we have been working for last almost 8 year on GPS denied. This has become just buzzword in 2025.
So you're
The,
working on this for last 8 years?
yes, GPS denied in unknown territory. So what happens if the
Huh.
INS, inertial navigation system, will have a 1 degree deviation, and you will lead to 21 kilometer from the target, off by 21 kilometer if you are going, let's say, a certain distance of our aircraft range. So for us, if we want to go defense 100 kilometer, and the deviation is even 0.1 degree, by the time you reach the destination, you will be far off. So that kind of the efficiency is required when it is GPS denied. It is not just that, okay, GPS is not there, satellite count is low, you just hover, take a manual control, bring it down. That is just a hoax. I mean, it's not a GPS denied. So we use multiple sensor fusion with the optical flow as well as the pre-trained data. We need a little bit of data on a particular terrain. We have that pre-feed data, then the INS, then the optical, and then multiple GPS also is what we are using as a first layer. Then it falls back to that. So now what we have enabled is we can travel with a pure optical flow unknown territory where you have not traveled before up to 10 kilometer, and our product range is 100 kilometer. So at least by the time, if let's say we are able to achieve the GPS denied complete range of 50 kilometer, then only that feature makes sense for defense, otherwise just a feature. So that way, autonomy, GPS denied, and redundancies. So see, for example, this particular drone, let's say this particular motor fails. This particular drone fails.
Okay.
There are only 4 motors. When it can fail? Only in takeoff and landing. In the fixed wing zone, if it fails, doesn't matter. If the back propulsion, which is again independent, if it fails, it comes on this. So propulsion is also redundant. If during vertical takeoff and landing, if your one motor fails, this aircraft can land on 3 motors. Now that is the redundancy on the propulsion. Similarly, GPS we discussed. Similarly, communication. We have cellular as a primary. We have RF, which works on both ends only, not on the route. And third is a SATCOM. SATCOM is a little gray in that area which needs to be opened up in India. So this is how then comes the parachute. So if let's say we have requirement to put the parachute in certain red zones or certain territories, then we have the option in the same aircraft to have the parachute. The same aircraft is certifiable in FAA, CASA, EASA, ICAO. So what has taken us long is building one product line, but it will serve all those territories. And our certification cycle can be brought down from 5 year to less than 18 months. So that is how the technology is enabling the long term business. Basically survivability is there. Earning the few tenders and few bucks of the revenue right now is not that much important, but how much long one contract can last for us in repeatability, that is how we are aiming.
I am just fascinated with the kind of engineering you guys have done. Just talk to me about the R&D, like how R&D at Tech Eagle looks like, and how much you have to create business too, and at the same
Yes.
time you have to put money into the R&D too. You have to make it better with time. So
Yeah.
both the components work simultaneously, and
Yes.
how that works.
So जैसे अपने वो पहले, I mean, the example that we gave, right? Everything is intertwined. So we start with the end in mind. What will be the end? Is a business, is a service, is a problem that is getting solved of the customer or a consumer.
Right.
So we start from there, and then we work backwards. That now, if a delivery needs to be imagined, so in 2015, 17, 18, 20, whenever we have been imagining since last 10 years the drone delivery, we have been imagining that how the customer will receive, how the buyer will buy it, and then do the R&D. Just for example, the payload part, for example, the redundancy part, we have been taking the regulators into the design and R&D cycle. We are catering to the customer needs also during that part. Transportation, you have seen the modularity part,
Right.
from the top to bottom, how to transport also. So while you are designing the product, if you are not knowing the end, you are gonna for sure starting for the fail. I mean, you're not gonna succeed if you are not starting with that end in mind, where you want to reach. So for example, if you put in your map location wrong, right, where you want to go, you won't reach the right location for sure.
Right.
So you always start with the end in mind, ki jana kahan hai. So that's how we do the R&D. Now coming back to the core part of the R&D, how it looks like at Tech Eagle, our teams are very crazy when it comes to the efficiency. I mean, what we have built is like people strive for more and more efficiency, safety, reliability, because the safety and reliability is paramount.
Yeah, right.
If,
I was going to ask about like safety layers, like how
Mhm.
to build those safety layers around these machines.
Uh-huh. So, for example, if we are operating across the nation, winds will go from 20 kilometer per hour to 60 kilometer per hour.
Right.
We started the first product to cater to the first layer of the clients with 45 kilometer per hour wind resistance. If there is a headwind of 45 kilometer per hour,
Mm-hmm.
our aircraft can fly in Kutch, in Arunachal, in Meghalaya, in Rishikesh. We have been flying in 55 kilometer to 60 kilometer per hour. In recent defense trials, our product was the highest in defense in wind resistance altitude. So safety layers are about your operating environment. There is something called operational envelope. So when you have aircraft, when you have a helicopter or anything, there is operational envelope. At what speed, at what altitude, at what payload you can operate that aircraft or a machine. So that operational envelope needs to be first designed, which is the end where it will operate in that envelope. And then you try to achieve with the right unit economics, which is a business economics. So you have to take care of the certification, regulators, and use, where it will be used, how it will be used, and from the operator, transporter, maintenance, MRO. All of those things need to be considered while designing, because one thing goes wrong, your molds, your design, your manufacturing line in production, it's a huge cost, biggest of all time. So we take care of all those edge cases. So the one key part is treat edge cases as normal cases. So for example, suddenly in front of a Tesla there will be a person or a cycle rider will come and it'll hit. It might be an edge case, but they have to build their technology and safety layer for those edge cases, then only it can reliably work.
Right.
And this is what people generally miss in deep tech and R&D. They only look for the mass application and they don't worry about the edge cases. And when your aircraft is in the air versus bike is on the ground, bike will just stop, aircraft will not stop, it will just fall down.
You're right.
That is the
So that
difference.
margin of error, like is very very small.
Zero.
Like zero, close to zero.
It has to be zero only which you are striving. If you are not striving for zero, then you are ending up for sure some error. It means then there will be more
How many
incidents.
of vertiplanes or verticopters you have crashed in this process?
So Vertiplane's very less, but Aquila X2 was a prior version, three versions which did not went. I mean, which did not go in the commercial cycle. They went up to the trials, demonstrations, field testing, all of that. That variant we have might have crashed maybe more than 10. Then 5 of Verticopter in the R&D cycle to, because we test the limits. Operational envelope is like a limits basically on each aspect, how much maximum payload you can attain. So we will put 5 kg, 6 kg, 7 kg, more, and then it'll like
So,
break.
yeah, right.
So I mean, you have to design your design of experiment is what it is basically. You have to design it for the extreme load. Aviation does it all the time, and they have to do it. Otherwise, it is not safe aircraft.
Right. And like Vikram, coming to like coming towards the end, like since you mentioned like talking about the product, you as you said ki you should know the end,
Yeah.
otherwise you are going to fail.
Yes.
So like talking about Tech Eagle, like how where do you see the company in the next like 10, 15 years, like ki okay, where we should reach at that point, at that place.
So we envision two major milestones: one 2035 and one 2047.
Okay.
So in next 10 year where will be, and in 21 year where will be. So our main focus in next 10 year is to build the entire tech stack and deploy it in the all sorts of last mile and mid mile, be it at the border, be it in the, so at in wartime, in peacetime. Our technology has to serve, whether it is information or whether it is medicine or whether it is ammunition or whether it is the restocking of the supply or the commerce parcels, anything and everything. And then our focus is to increase the autonomy till 2047, that India is at the forefront in the deep tech and overall technology, and which is autonomous technology, because in next 21 year, if we need to really supply all these things to 200 crore Indians, and then maybe 1000 crore global audience, and out of that, even if let's say we cater to only 1 billion, not entire 10 billion people, still autonomy has to be at the center, because our applications 365 day 24/7, every delivery every time has to be successful. And for that, we have to commercialize the autonomy from the policy point of view, and those 10-year will be setting the global benchmarks. Already our product is set gold standards for the logistics. Google, Wing, Zipline, or any other company cannot beat us in the difficult terrains of the country that we are operating in India. And similar other territories are also there. So we are already setting the benchmarks for the global companies in our domain. And that's what we will continue to do. And we want to stand at the forefront when India can be called Vikshit Bharat. If India can reach Mars, and if medicine can't reach a village, we are not a developed nation. We are not a Vikshit Bharat. Similarly, if you can get a 10-minute delivery here, at least 1 hour delivery in any part of the country should be available.
Right.
So, and preparedness to disaster also. You have to supply. I mean, half of the time it gets cut off. So, the vision is to create universal, equitable access for 1 billion plus people of Bharat is the vision, and that's where we see ourselves at 2047.
Right. Vision is noble, vision is great, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you so
very
much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Really so much to learn from you, and thank you so much.
Likewise. Likewise.